Hello everyone. Yes, I've done it. I've said it. I'm gonna convert. We're going to cavalry. So today's video, I'm gonna pass down my wisdom of archers. I'm gonna give you all the archer knowledge that I know so far from what I've been playing of nearly 3 seasons worth of archer gameplay mainly. So let's get into today's video. Hello, yes, we're going to be going over archers today. I'm going to be covering as much as I can about archers for you guys looking to play this role. So, what are archers good at? As you can imagine, they excel at single target DPS, meaning they are the best marchers at dealing raid damage. That is true. I don't care what anyone says. You can try and dispute this. Mages, you guys lack in that department. But because they deal so much single target DPS, it obviously affects some of their PvP capabilities. Like a mage player will say, they get AoE magic skill damage, which is powerful as hell, but we make up for it in different regards. So, let's go over some archers. I'm going to give you guys, like I say, the starting. So, when you first start out in Call of Dragons, you only get access to Neeko, you get access to Kregg, you eventually get access to Kanara through the Lucky Wheel. You get access to Guanwin, right? Then later on in Stars Reignited, you get Syndrion and you get Ffraegar. So this is kind of like your progression ladder. So what you want to do is, in my eyes, is obviously you start Spring Wardens. Why? Spring Wardens allows you to get Guanwin instantly, which is amazing, and the main quest line allows you to quickly level her up in an awakened state. The cool thing with starting Spring Wardens 2 and being an archer player, I'm just going to let you guys know, the Road to Glory event starts alongside your brand new account. The Road to Glory reward is Kregg. So, as you can imagine, if you do the Road to Glory event and you start out with Spring Wardens, as the Archer player, you get a significant advantage compared to other players because of the fact that you get to Archer commanders that you will automatically have the 5-1-1-1 stage really quickly, right? So what you allowed you to do then is start focusing on your legendaries. So obviously you get access to Neeko, and what Neeko does is it completes basically, I would say, your holy trinity in the early game. That is true. So Neeko is going to be responsible for your PvP. He's going to be your primary hero for PvP. Kregg will become your primary hero for PvP also if you want a flying march, and this is the big and, you want to exclusively use the mobility tree, right? Otherwise, the other hero you're going to use is Guanwin. Guanwin is the other Holy Trinity, and the reason why is Guanwin's going to be your primary hero with the precision talent tree setup, allowing you to have a raid primary commander at all costs. So that's all she's there for, dealing raid DPS. So with her as your primary commander, with any of the other archers, you're good to go, right? So then what you do then is you progress. You're going to start progressing and you get Kanara. And this is the cool thing. So now Kanara gives you an access ladder to 2 different marches. You can now run Kanara and Guanwin for a PvP match, which is phenomenal. You can also run Neeko and Kregg now as a PvP match. And obviously, Neeko being the primary commander and Kanara being the primary commander allows you to use talent pages like this, for example, for a crazy PvP build. You can also run something like this, for example, on your Neeko. This is again only 50 points, remember, so levels 1 to 50 to get you here. And you're good to go, and you're going to be pumping out damage, right? So you can see these guys have got those dedicated roles, and from here you're going to be focusing on artifacts, right? So you've already now established your base foundation, right? You've got your main 2 PvP marches now. You've got your 3 heroes that you're always going to switch between depending on what the situation is. So now let's go over some artifacts. So obviously everyone's going to want Shadow Blades. Everyone should know by now Shadow Blades is the most AoE damage you can deal with a artifact for marksman. That's why it's OP as hell. You can also gain access to Viola's bow. If you don't have it, it's not the end of the world, guys. It's fine, right? But what you can also get is the Rattle Spear. If you can get Rattle Spear, honestly, you're going to be in a phenomenal position in your fight. But what you can also do for newer players is use Bomb Flinger. Bomb Flinger is amazing. I don't care what anyone says. Bomb Flinger for free-to-play player low spenders in the early game, you're going to be using this thing all the time because it deals 2400 skill damage to the behemoth and it boosts up marksman unit attack. So what you do is, as a marksman player, you have Heart Piercer that you level up and use for PvP, and then you have Bomb Flinger that you use for PvE. And once you get one of the legendary artifacts that I've said, you then start basically switching out as according, right? So, from here, what do you do? Like, what's better? You know, what should I pair with who, right? I would always say a 5-1-1-1, you know, so 5-1-1-1 Nico primary should always be primary in any situation as soon as you get it. As soon as you get it, you're going to open yourself a bunch of doors. But Kregg can be a primary commander at 5-5-1-1. And then if you're trying to be a flying specialist, you can go 5-5-5-1. And he is really good because you can use Kregg with a 5-0 or a 3-0 even fear. And this match is going to allow Kregg to do a ton of skill damage. So it's a very good match for a flying base march if you're someone like the Wilderberg, right? But if you're not going to be doing that, you know, you've still got the mobility tree, like we said, that you could be running on him. You could be doing some crazy stuff like this max speed build here that allows you to basically run at your opponents and kill them if they have less than 50% units remaining, which you're going to do because you're going to have increased skill damage on this build, because I actually really like going really hard in this build for the damage, as you can see. So it allows that Kregg with flying units to try and pick off targets, right? So now, if you can imagine it, you've got Kregg Fear as an option. You have Nico with Kregg as a PvP option. You can have Nico and Kanara as the ultimate PvP option. And you have Nico Guanwin as also another PvP option. And that's all the different options you have before you even, like I said, prioritize Kanara. Once you've got Kanara in the field, it's the exact same scenario as Nico. You're allowed to pair up so many heroes with a 5-1-1-1 Kanara. And even when you get a 5-5-1-1 Kanara, it's absolutely absurd how strong she is, right? So from here, you're going to transition. You're going to get into Season 2. And then you get Ffraegar. Ffraegar is one hero, if you're an archer main, I will say now is a must-buy. You're going to get this hero no matter what. Why? It's because of the fact that all of her skills are 4 skills that all marksman heroes, especially in PvP, all want. And the fact that, in my eyes, she's almost like the Saladin of the game. Where at 5-5-5-1 for a low spender and a free-to-play player, she is such an insanely good investment for early game, right? So you can have this early game hero that you've invested in that's so powerful, and then start investing your generational 2 heads into other heroes like Syndrion that you will get access to if you have him, right? We're going to go over him in a moment, don't worry. I just kind of want to focus on Ffraegar. Once you might have completed the next season and going into the future, Ffraegar you will eventually expertise, because this 4th skill, reducing march speed by 30%, but the rage accumulation speed by 20% is crippling in PvP, and a lot of whales will see how effective this 4th skill is. It's why she's actually really, really strong as well. The awakening is non-existent. We kind of like ignore this. It's just 200 damage. That's why it's kind of similar to the Saladin effect. But this is a very, very good skill, right? So it's a very, very powerful thing that you can have in my eyes. So you're going to be able to get Ffraegar easier. Once you've got Ffraegar, I'm not going to lie, guys, a Nico Ffraegar is going to become your go-to match. And why? You can use this in PvP, and it's amazing. You're going to use this in PvE raiding, it's amazing, right? You can then use this in events, again, it's amazing. And it allows Kanara then to actually be used with Kregg, which is really cool. I actually really like this combo. You'd be surprised on how powerful this combo is together because of how tanky Kanara is and how nasty and awakened Mad Bomber Kregg is because of how much AoE skill damage he deals, right? So what you will do, though, is get Syndrion. So Syndrion, just to let you guys know, I haven't got Syndrion yet, but I do plan on getting him. And you can get him just to showcase it in the daily deals. So if you miss him on the Wheel of Destiny and you miss him in the Strongest Lord events, don't stress out like me. I haven't stressed because I knew eventually he'd be here. And he is. He's in the daily deals. So you're going to be able to buy him in the daily deals in towards the end of your season. And it's going to allow you to basically have this hero for the next hero, for the next season, ready to go, right? Is he good? Yes. And where do you use him? Simply, you're going to use Syndrion if you have access with Ffraegar as your main raid DPS. This becomes your #1 raid DPS form when you get it. But what I would suggest is running Kanara Primary with Syndrion. I'm not going to lie, I think this is such a powerful combination with the trees that you can get. If you really want to, you can still run Syndrion Primary with Kanara and run the Precision Tree if you really want to for maximum attack damage. But I personally think Kanara and Syndrion is going to be a very scary pairing in the game. The thing with Syndrion and Ffraegar is this does the most single target DPS in the entire game so far, but you lack stats in the regard of defense. You only get 15% defense and 15% health, and I'm not going to lie, guys, that is nowhere near enough when you need to reduce damage dealt. You can get counter-attack damage, and you can get defense and hero skill damage reductions from heroes like Kanara. So this is why I would go into those heroes and that reasoning, right? If you're looking on advice on civilizations, honestly, Spring Wardens are really good for cavalry heroes, as you can imagine. But for archers, they're really good too, because the archer unit you gain increases their own physical attack by 5% and reduces their own march speed. This is fine, right? Reducing your march speed by 2%, but increasing your physical attack by 5% is bonkers when in the field. It allows you to do so much more burst damage with your skills, because obviously this is now scaling up all of your skill 1 damage. But the cool thing is with this civilization for archer units too, the flying cavalry unit, if you have Spring Wardens, does work with Ffraegar and Kregg. So if you are looking for archers, you can use these 2 archers as a flying cavalry march, and you can even throw fear in the mix in this trifecta, and basically have a different setup each time on flying cavalry heroes, which allows your archer hero, Ffraegar here, and Kregg additional flexibility and advantage in seasons to come, right? So this is why it's cool to kind of invest in these archer heroes right now, because you're gaining a little bit of a flexibility and advantage with the use of the Eagle's Nest. But obviously there is the Wilderberg. And Wilderberg allows you to field an insane, and I mean an insane amount of archers, because you can get access to the Wyvern Riders. Yes, I'm going to be honest with you guys, Wyvern Riders are not the strongest. If anything, they're the weakest flying unit of all 3. They are the slowest. They don't do that much damage. They are just really weak for what they deal. But the power of them is basically almost a support march. So if you had a Wyvern Rider faction, it allows you to use Wyvern Riders with your Spearmen now. So you can have potentially 600,000, 800,000. So that's 4 marches now of archers, guys. And it allows you to use stuff like Viola's Bow, Shadow Blades, as well as Rattle Spear and Gold Crest together, or even, which I would suggest, the Heart of Kamice. Because if you're a Wyvern Rider, I personally think a Wyvern Rider's job, honestly, is to support. So you're there to deal a bit of damage, and you're not there to deal tons of damage. So what you can be doing is actually using the Heart of Kamice to power up your other main archer units, like your Kanara, like your Nico, like your Syndrion, with the different, heroes that you might have paired up with them in that season to get maximum effectiveness, right? So that is it, and that's going to be today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's a lot to take in. I hope you want to go back. There's going to be timestamps about each little individual bit. I know there's a ton more stuff I can go into, which is crazier. But I thought if we leave it there, if you guys want more, I'll give you guys more advice. I'm going to be hopefully doing this for cavalry, infantry, and mages too. So if you're looking for those videos, let me know and smash the like button so I know you are happy to see all that goodness. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Smash a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. My name's MrSneakyy, an official Call of Dragons content creator. And with all that said, guys, until the next video, stay safe, stay sneaky. Peace out all.